technology. It's going to be cool as we can learn how to utilize these tools. I want to also just recognize my wife and my family real quick. Gina is in the audience, and she is the love of my life. We, as you can see there on the screen, CJ hit that first graphic for me. There's a picture of our family. And that was kind of the beginning stages many years ago. Today, the neat thing about where the family is headed is that I've got my daughter who's licensed in the business, and she's in our audience in Dallas, and now my son is in the business, and he has gone full time. We've got a great crew, and it's just been a real joy. It's been neat, and we've got some great things ahead for our family we're very excited about. We are a blended family. My wife had 4 kids when we met. I had 2 kids, and we have 1 between us. That little kid right there in the middle that's got his hands folded right behind his chin is not so little anymore. He plays football, and he's 300 pounds. So it's a big growing family, and he's got a big dream. But I tell you, one of the things that I love about my family is that they got to grow up being PFS kids, and that gives them an edge in life. They think differently than maybe their peers. They believe differently than maybe some of their peers, and so they have bigger dreams than maybe some of their peers. And that thinking is what I really want to talk to you today about. Randy was talking about what we've done, and Randy, I'm honored and flattered you say such kind things, but buddy, we haven't arrived yet. We've got a huge goal, and we want to make this mark happen by 2013. We got the date already on the calendar, June 13, 2013. We're going to go back to the Dome. And when we go back to the Dome in 2 years, between now and then, we want to have a base shop that does 100 by 100. It's great that we've broke that barrier, that we've done 69 recruits, but we're not happy with that. We're very, very grateful for that, but we're pushing. We want to do better than that, and I know we can. We were talking to Scott yesterday, and he says, "Is that your meeting room?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Wow, we can fill it up." So there's no reason we can't do 100 by 100. But the most exciting thing about that, in addition to doing 100 by 100 base shop, is to be able to promote 12 new first-generation RVPs. And you're going to hear from one of those here in a minute. And then you're also going to hear from our next SVP here in a couple of minutes. But Randy was talking with me yesterday. He goes, "Craig, what do you see right now, and what are you doing right now?" And I thought I'd just share a couple of things, what we see right now, and what we're doing right now. And then I'll go to the slide presentation here in just a second. But let me tell you what I see right now. What I see right now is an economy that is as bad as it's ever been in our lifetimes. And as bad as that is out there for a lot of people, it is like a God-sent opportunity that you have. So if you're sitting in Atlanta, or if you're sitting in Dallas, because things are so bad out there in the, quote, real world, it makes our opportunity that people may have not looked at before really sit up and take note, because this opportunity is the only game in town. Randy understood years ago, where else could he go build his own business, call his own shots, make a 7-figure income? People don't think that way out in the economy today. It is so bad, it just gets worse and worse. And I want to read a short little paragraph that I got recently from one of our teammates on hope. And really, that's what we're in the business of. I mean, we've been piping into your school. We heard about, of course we do term insurance and mutual funds and all that stuff. But you and I are really a dealer of hope. And people out there don't have hope anymore. And they're looking for something. And we've got that answer for them. Let me read this short paragraph. Here's what it says. This comes from Zig Ziglar. Is hope really that important? Martin Luther said that everything that is done in the world is done by hope. John Lubbock said that hope should be classified as a virtue along with faith. Alexander said that hope is the true inheritance of the greats. He goes on to say we could think of it as a light. A person without hope will take no action. The student who has no hope of passing an exam will not study. The salesperson that has no hope of making the sale won't even attempt to make the call. Hope is the starting point for accomplishment. how true that is. And outside today, you and I both know there's people that are so depressed and despondent and in despair. They have little hope. Put them in your environment. Get them to your Tuesday night meetings. Build your team attendance. Have them have a whole new set of friends. Have them have a whole new set of thinking. And embrace the fact of creating a winning environment. Many years ago, the great coach Art Williams said, you got to create your own personal management philosophy. I believe with all my heart that one of those key pillars to building a great management philosophy is building a great team environment. So you give hope to people that come in on your Tuesday night meetings. And they're there for different reasons. I don't try to overanalyze. Some people, I believe with all my heart, are just meant to cross your path to make their life a little bit better. And then they move on. Other people will cross your path and get their own financial house in order. I got a call just about a week ago from one of our ex-part-time recruits that he says, do you know what I did with my finances? And he went on to explain how he got properly protected, how he invests every month, and how he will now be financially independent. He's a forklift driver. That just gave me chills of we made a difference in that guy's life. And then there's other people that you'll hear from today that they want to do the business because they want to make an extra 10 to 20 grand a year. I've got a friend over in our Dallas branch right now, Herman Dew, was part-time with me for 20 years. That is the greatest part-time opportunity out there. And then there's other people that you'll hear from, like Leo Garcia here in a second, that said, I don't want to be a butcher anymore. I want more than that out of life. And he decided to go full-time and become an RVP. And we'll talk about that. But that's what I see going on out there. The opportunity, people don't have hope. And you've got a chance of really impacting people's lives in a myriad of different ways. CJ, hit up that first graphic for me if you would you, buddy? I want to work on your thinking in the remaining time that I've got just real quick. And I want to share with you, this is a book that you ought to go pick up. Harv Eker wrote Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And as I was listening to Randy talk this morning, he was talking about the fact that if you could predict the future, y'all can probably fill in the blank in Atlanta because I'm sure you were listening to him. And he actually used this word millionaire. Let me just, before I go through this 10-slide presentation, let me just tell you a couple of things. You probably weren't groomed how to be a millionaire. You probably weren't trained how to think. You probably weren't trained how to believe. And so therefore, you were a collection of previous people that had spoke influence in your life, and you believe a certain way, you think a certain way, and you act a certain way. That was me when I started the business. I don't think at all the same way that I did years ago. I don't believe at all the same way I did years ago. That's why I get so excited, because Randy said, gosh, I know our future has never been better. This is our shot. This is our chance to make history. This is our moment. And that's why we are so excited in building something, because I said, we got a window, gang. This is a shot, and it could be, special. So let's max it out.